Yeah, boys here for it. How you doing? Enjoying this nice Sunday football morning. Grand total of 3 football games left on the season. Always makes your boy a little sad to think about in the grand scheme of things. But as a Chiefs fan, at least I get to play in 2 out of the 3. How about that? I'll take that. You know, gonna take a little watching it. Yo, shout out Gibbs. How you doing this morning? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling excited. You still a Commanders fan? You still hyping up these Commanders? We got a few believers. It doesn't appear like the betting line's got a few believers. There's some doubters in the Commanders and the Bills. Hey, shout out Daniel. How about those Chiefs? Good. How about you? Doing good. You know, excited as football fans. I'm a Lions fan. I know. I just remember you get a little excited for the Commanders after they lost. Talking about a performance. Look, the Commanders need that same kind of performance if they want to beat the Eagles. That's the recipe. They need to do exactly what they already did. The 6-point spread feels like a prime example of why it makes me nervous about this game, though. It's closer than that. Hey, playoff. Good morning. Yes, sir. What's up? Look at AJ. Shout you out, too. Hope y'all doing good today. Excited. Got all the tailgate essentials ready. I will be doing some rotel as tradition. A little chicken. Might do a little chicken wings too. I haven't fully decided. I did, splurge and get the little queso blanco style, a little extra today. Actually, I think it was the same price, but switch it up for championship weekend. Little queso blanco, a little extra. Instead of 2 pounds, we went 3. A little extra meaty. What's your favorite tailgate snacks? What y'all eating while watching the game? I've always been a big fan of barbecue, but the barbecue around here is trash. And your boy's too lazy to be firing it up. So I'm sticking with the rotel. Stick with the one that brought me here, A little good luck charm. Chiefs usually don't lose when I make my rotel. So keeping the fingers crossed we keep the tradition going. The boy did 2 hours yesterday. Got the voice a little sore, a little rough. Daniel said, I like food. It don't matter. I feel you. Your boy's a fat kid. So, my mom didn't let me be, kind of picky eater. You know what I mean? So there's very few things that I don't really eat. I don't mess with no beets. And there's probably a few things, but just about everything. Just go ahead and put it on the plate. I'll feel you there. Do you play Fortnite? No, I do not. And once a blue moon, I'll play Sea of Thieves. I tried to do the Minecraft flight simulator, but on the Xbox, it don't work very well. I grew up in a house that if you didn't eat fast, you didn't eat. Yo, like I feel you there. I was in the army, so the crazy thing is in like training, it'd always be like the shortest goes first. You know, they go shortest to tallest, and when the last person sits down, that's when the clock starts. You get like 6 minutes to eat. The problem is I'm kind of a tall guy. So by the time the last guy sits down, it's like maybe 2, 3 guys after me. You know what I mean? There's only a couple guys even taller than me. So like these short dudes get take their time eating, doing whatever. As tall boys, we require more calories anyway. You know, so like we'll load up a plate, eat as fast as you can, and be hungry when you leave the place. Like it was ridiculous sometimes. Like but hey, it gave your boy a 6-pack. Your boy had a 6-pack once upon a time. And that was crazy to think about. I know it's possible. Highly unlikely though anymore. I'll put it to you that way. I'm the youngest of 3 garbage disposals, and my older brother gave 0 S about sharing. Hey, I feel you there, bro. I feel you there. I got lucky, and my mom grew up in she's got 8 brothers and sisters. So when she cooked, there was always enough. You know what I'm saying? There was always enough. Like my wife makes fun of me because every recipe I got feeds like 10 people, and there ain't but like 3 of us, 3, 4 eating a meal at any time. You know what I mean? So it's crazy to think about. Yeah, you gotta put it away when you can. Kind of like what the Commanders are gonna have to do today. They're gonna have to put it away when they can, because I just don't see how they're stopping Saquon. It just does not make no sense to me. Saquon Barkley out here eating like he's your big brother, bro. Like he don't care about nothing. I cook for an army every time. I feel you there. Yeah, it's the only recipe I know. That's the formula. It's got to be the whole neighborhood getting fed, or nothing at all. It's crazy to think about. It's all right. I got a son, so he's a grown boy. Eventually, it'll be not enough. You know what I mean? Because I've seen that boy put away some food, and he ain't even hit the puberty age yet. You know what I mean? So I remember when he was probably like, I want to say he was either 4 or 5 years old. I watched this kid put away like a grown man's breakfast, like a grown man's breakfast. And still to this day, like couldn't believe it. It was like 3 eggs, 3, 4 pieces of sausage, a few pieces of biscuits, and a couple pancakes. And I was just like, man, I'm in trouble. I'm like, this kid's like 5 years old and just knocked out everything out and knocked out and been good, like, it's like these teenage years they're gonna hit the pocketbooks pretty hard, but it'll be all right. It'll be all right. I need someone who just means I ain't got to worry about leftovers anymore. That's the problem. Like, I don't really like to eat leftovers too terribly much. I like something different the next day. And that's my problem in life. Which is a good first world problem to have. Because as Chiefs fans, we ain't got no other problems. We got Sir Patrick Mahomes. We got Andy Reid about to host another Kansas City Chiefs Invitational Championship game, also known as the AFC championship game. Like, I'm just excited for it. I'm excited for it. And what's going to be crazy to me is I got a feeling that we're going to see some kind of double-digit win. You know, they're going to win by like 10 plus. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to win. It's probably going to be like 10, 12 points or something like that. Maybe not even 2 full touchdowns. And people are going to try to convince us somehow, some way it was close. That's the most irritating part about the Texans game is from the kickoff. It was never even a game. It was never even a matchup. From the moment the ball kicked off and the Kansas City Chiefs returner ran the ball 40 freaking yards, everybody in that building knew it was game over. And look, Andy Reid didn't even step on the gas like he should have. Like, let's be completely honest. Like, this could have been a slobber knocker. It could have been. On paper, preseason, you would have loved to see these teams. It would have been amazing. And unfortunately, the reality of football is you got to be healthy. You got to have the players on the field. You can't just win on paper. This isn't Madden. You know, as much as we all want to be GMs, we can't pick and choose what happens. And you start seeing a lot of craziness. You know, this Bills Chiefs game will be a very fun matchup, in my opinion. I think people are going to find a way to complain no matter what happens. And it's the effect of having a dynasty. That's what it is. Nobody likes a champion. Nobody likes it when it's the one team constantly winning. Why do people hate the Lakers? I hated Michael Jordan. Some people hate Tiger Woods. You know, when you just keep winning, it really bothers some people. And those are the people that are just like dissatisfied, knowing they're wrong. If they're able to look at someone, the problem is they've looked at Pat Mahomes and said it was everything else. It was the reason he's winning is because Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, you know, he's got all these weapons. Then it was, he's just winning because it's Andy Reid. You know, Andy Reid's never won a Super Bowl, but because of Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid is he's winning it all. He's doing everything. He's doing everything on the field every time. That's what Andy Reid is doing. Catching all the balls, throwing all the passes. It's Andy Reid making these behind the back throws. It's Andy Reid that can throw left-handed and right-handed. You know, it's Andy Reid that can lay sideways and throw the ball. Like it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Look, I will be right back, folks. I forgot the charger. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Apologize about that. Whoops. But back to what we were saying. Let's talk about some crazy stats like how Josh Allen's never won a road game. How come people never start talking about those kind of things? Like, why is that never brought up into the conversation? Yep, shout out to Daniels. I don't know why. I think the comments froze. I know this happened yesterday. because I didn't get any additional comments for a while, and next thing I knew, they flooded in, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't keep up. So if you're making any comments and I'm not highlighting them, just know that it's probably something like that. Let me see. Let me go messing around with a couple little clickety clacks. See if we can't get it to refresh this way. Sometimes this thing can get a little goofy. Look, I didn't even touch you and you're popping up. They want me to pay for this service. This is crazy sometimes. This is unbelievable. Anywho, back to how the Kansas City Chiefs are just going to absolutely destroy the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have been frauds all season, and we know it. People will want to ignore it. They did not even beat the Ravens. The Ravens beat themselves. They didn't force the Ravens to punt a single time in that game. A single time. If it wasn't for those turnovers, the Ravens have a blowout on their hand. You're telling me the Bills basically have to pray for multiple turnovers. They got to win the turn. The only way they win this game is if they win the turnover battle, and even then, I don't think they win this game. You telling me Kansas City Chiefs drop that pass? Come on. Not that 2-point conversion. And Andy Reid probably doesn't even get you in that 2-point conversation because he would have kicked the first field goal. I don't even think he would have went for 2. He would have known. Come on. What are we doing here? You're going for desperation when you don't even have to. And that's really what the Commanders are going to be doing today, is going complete desperation mode. And shout out to them. This is how you play playoff football. You got to be in desperation mode. You ain't got no second chances. There's no second guesses. This is a championship game. If you did not know this, they give out rings for these games. It's crazy to think about. We all talk about the Super Bowl ring. We point to it, this, that, and the other. Second place going to get a ring too. They're going to get the little NFC championship ring. Believe it or not. That's crazy to think about, right? Sheesh. No, why? Oh, why? It does. There we go. Look, this is what it is too. Everyone wants the Bills to win, but knows it's the Chiefs. This is a factual statement. This is as true as it gets right here. Everyone wants the Bills to win. Everyone that's not a Kansas City Chiefs fan is going for the Bills. They're like, please, baby Jesus, do what we can. How? Please, baby Jesus, do what we have never been able to do. Who cares? The sports fans, bro. This is a whole tailgating sports show. Why would you come on? Who cares if you care? How about that, Frank? Huh? You ever ask yourself that, Frank? Who cares if you care? Right? That's the answer to your question, Frank. Who cares if you care? Because we out here talking sports. You ain't going to mess up the move. How many yards is Cook going to get this game? I feel real good about the 65-yard markish. The problem is the Kansas City Chiefs are great at stopping the run. This is exactly what they're built for. Let's check and see what did he even get on the first. 65 is a safe bet. It feels pretty good, to be honest with you. Look, I like him. Cook's pretty good, like, right? But the Kansas City Chiefs are built to stop two teams, right? And really, I think they're more focused on the Ravens than the Bills, but they're really built the same way. The Ravens and Bills offense are not built drastically different, okay? With the Ravens, you're going to see a lot more of the RPO options, the run pass options. So that's Lamar being able to choose. You know, he's got basically three choices on the play. He's either going to hand it to Derrick Henry. He sees that it's easy, light work. He goes to hand it to Henry and something catches his eyes and he needs to run it in himself. Or he's like, I see a coverage open. Let me try to hit that, and then I can still run. The thing is Josh Allen does similar things. Look, Josh Allen is not the runner that Lamar Jackson is, right? He can run. Like, don't take that away from Josh Allen in this statement. I am saying Josh Allen can run. But we all know he's not a Lamar Jackson or a Jaden Daniels, right? He's not that guy. But he's good, you know, not far behind. You know, and the Chiefs know this. They look around the AFC, they say to get to the Super Bowl, who do we got to contend with? You got to contend with the Ravens and the Bills. And remember, the formula 2-3 years ago was just run the ball on Kansas City. You would see it all the time when the Chiefs messed around and put up 3 touchdowns on you and you no longer could run the ball, and it always threw away the conversation. They were scoring too quick. And that's exactly what the Commanders have to do today. That's the only way they're stopping Saquon Barkley. How about I got a question for you, Drake. The Saquon Barkley of 125 over or under. How do you guys feel about that one? Because I feel like the over is a pretty good hit. Bills should have lost versus the Ravens. They were frauds, but the Chiefs own them. Look, I'm just saying it. 0 punts. 0 times did they force the Ravens to punt. Those 3 turnovers were the only 3 times the Ravens did not score points. Let that sink in. So as much as I don't want to blame Lamar, you clean those turnovers up. This is the playoffs. This is when you have to play perfect. You can't put yourself in these holes. And even when you did, you still could have got out of it if Mark Andrews catches the ball. And Mark Andrews, you know, I don't want to call him a bum, but you got to make that catch. You're not Travis Kelce. You can't fumble the ball. You're not Travis Kelce. Like, you're not on that level. That's the difference between Travis Kelce, Gronk, and Tony Gonzalez and all these elite guys and Mark Andrews. Just plays like that. And that's not the first time it's happened for him either. This is not the first time Mark Andrews has been a terrible, like, do not throw that man the ball when the game is on the line. It's gonna hurt. You said, I'll take the over on Saquon, but Commanders pull it off the mini upset. Hey, look, 6-point dogs. If you ask, like, I think a lot of people will say it's an upset, or not an upset. You know, they'll say a mini upset or try to downplay. You know, they think it's a closer game, and that's what makes me nervous because Vegas Vegas points to not even close with 6 points. They're trying to get people to bet the Commanders. They'll say we'll even give you, pretty much touchdown. We'll say we got to win by a touchdown or more. How about that? And that's even tempting. And look, the Commanders can do it. I'm not trying to take it away from the Commanders. The problem is Commanders have an absolute atrocious defensive line. It is top 3 garbage. The teams around the Commanders, the whole top 10 list is just a list of every garbage team. Every garbage team you can imagine is on that list. I know the Panthers were like number 1, Saints were number 2, Commanders were number 3. The only other playoff team remotely close was the Rams at number 11. And I've got questions about that one too. Like, it's just the run defense isn't there for me for the Commanders. Jake Smith said, over 125. Saquon has proved me wrong all season. Gibbs had a few runs against the Commanders. Saquon is explosive. One run over 50 gets him halfway there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel you there. Like, and that's not nothing to take away from Gibbs either, right? When you say that, the Lions got away from giving Gibbs the ball. Like, it was like Goff is hurt. It's the same thing with Jalen Hurts. Hurts is a little banged up. The Commanders have ran into the playoffs where every quarterback they faced is a little banged up. So, I don't know. And Jalen Hurts versus Jaden Daniels, who's the better quarterback? If you're going to start a team tomorrow and you get 2 choices of quarterbacks, are you picking Jaden? Are you picking Jaden Daniels? Or are you picking Hurts? I think I might go Jaden Daniels. He might be the better quarterback. I agree the Commies may pull off the upset. It could happen. It could happen. It's not out of the question. My co-host likes to say, one day he'll be on here with us again, and he'll hop in and tell us all about the ways the Commanders are definitely going to win. But the formula seems awfully short. Look, they struggled. These teams played twice this season. We've already seen them both. So the first time, Jaden Daniels couldn't really do much against the Philly defense. And they lost. The second time, the Commanders won. But Jalen Hurts went down real early in the game, and they played against Kenny Pickett all game. Even with KP, it was a close game. Now, the biggest problem is the defense still gave up 30-something points. The Philadelphia Eagles defense cannot give up 30 points today. They don't need to get into a shootout with the Commanders. This is a team that needs to get some stops and score some runs, control the clock. If for some reason Jaden Daniels comes out here and just starts, if he gets like a nice 2-score lead, this is going to be a football game, boys. This is going to be a football game because I don't know if the Eagles can come. I don't know if they're built for the comeback. I feel more comfortable with the Commanders trying to make a comeback than I do the Eagles. But I think if the Eagles can control the game, like they probably will, look, they have a monster offensive line and then a decent defense. They're not this Washington Commanders defense. It really depends on Jalen Hurts and how he plays. The Lions game depended on Goff, and the Ravens game depended on Lamar. Yeah, that's exactly. This is why you'll see people argue it's not a quarterback game. The quarterback doesn't decide. Win-loss isn't a quarterback stat. That's my favorite quote. That's not just on the quarterback. And you're right, it's not just on the quarterback. But the quarterback is by far the largest impact on win-loss by a country mile. There's not a position that comes anywhere close to the impact that quarterback has on win-loss than anybody else. It's why he's the first guy at the podium, right? Like, we see him out here talking to the crowd for a reason. How you doing? It's not my fault that the Kansas City Chiefs kicked our butt. It's the dang referees or whatever these quarterbacks are complaining about this season. It's crazy. And it's also crazy that, like, Mixon didn't even publicly complain about him, still gets fined, complains about the fine, gets fined for that. Like, bro, you just gotta, like, they're out here getting you. It's shiesty. But that ain't on the Chiefs. That's on you and the NFL, bro. Look what happened to the Vikings. Darnold got spooked. Oh, my God. Did he ever? Bruh. I can't help but feel like he got, what, $100 million? Maybe $150 million just off in the distance. Off in the distance at the end of the year. He fumbled the bag. All he had to do, like, you could still lose the game, right? He could have still lost them last couple games. And just didn't look like, just don't look like Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? You got to hold on to the cape, bruh. Hold on tight to the cape. Don't let it go. You gotta keep it going. Like, if you let it go, like, and you bust out looking like Sam Darnold, you take off the glasses, and they see Sam Darnold, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You just $100 million, 2 games just gone. And thankfully so. Thankfully so. Because he was about to rob. He was about to go in there. It's not armed robbery. Like, that's like one of those grand larceny type things where you masterminded or whatever the criminal code is for that. Drake says, I'm not taking away from the Commanders, but the Lions did give them 5 turnovers. I just don't see Hurts giving up more than 1 interception. Might only throw 150 yards, but there'll be meaningful downs. Yeah, and that's probably true. That's probably true. Like, it just hoping for that is not going to work. Look, and even Kenny Pickett behind him did not have a bad game. Like, it doesn't look like it on fantasy. Us stat nerds, we like to go clickety clack. I love pulling up stats. They can prove your point, but stats don't always paint the full picture. People have trouble with that. They love looking at the box score. All these DraftKings and FanDuels got you thinking the only thing that matters is X, Y, and Z. There's things to do it. Thoughts on the Commanders' upset? The Commanders got to get up the score early. They can't let this be a run game. They've got to completely destroy the run. They're just not allowed. You got to make it where the Eagles are. You got to make it a quarterback duel. You got to make it Jalen Hurts versus Jaden Daniels. It's not going to happen. The Philadelphia defense is not going to allow that to happen. But that's what they need to do. If they can, you know, if he can somehow, some way, I'd like to see it. But I think we're going to see another rematch. Philadelphia versus Kansas City. Commanders have been my dark horse. Hey, shout out to that. That's a pretty nice little dark horse. I want the Commanders, but I know it's the Chiefs. Yeah, look, it's the three-peat. We're watching the GOAT. We're watching the GOAT happen. People don't want to admit it. I'm just biased. You can't look at Pat Mahomes and watch all the throws that he makes, all the plays that he makes, all the things that he does. Back you ever seen? Like, it's just it is what it is. You know, and it's not the first type of this quarterback either. We've seen him back in the day with Fran Tarkenton. Like, he was that guy too. Like, it's crazy to think about. Some people just want to deny greatness, but I get it. I hated Tom Brady. I hated Jordan. Look at Bills. Only one wide receiver had over 20 yards. Cook had 67 yards. Nothing special. Lamar's turnovers, and he'd only missed early PAT, lost them the game. It's really about turnovers. Jaden is still a rookie. Can't sleep on the Bills, right? Yeah. The Bills have the ability to play a perfect game. Josh Allen has the ability to play to the letter of the T as good as he can possibly be. We've seen the best of Josh Allen in the playoffs. But the problem is Josh Allen's never won a road playoff game. And that includes to losing to Pat Mahomes at homes. Like, that's not even just, it ain't even not just be about a playoff game. The problem is Pat Mahomes can also play perfect and is likely to play perfect. If you look at situations in the playoffs, in the situations in all of like playoff history, there's been like 120 situations where, you know, the quarterback was down by a touchdown late in the fourth quarter, you know, and Pat Mahomes is 7 for 7 in such situations. There's no quarterback more clutch than Pat Mahomes. It's just what it is. Drew Brees was like 3 for 3 in those situations. Tom Brady was like 5 for 11, you know. And here we look at Pat Mahomes going 7 for 7. And you just want to deny greatness. You can't overlook it. Look, it's the AFC Championship game. There's no better team that you can point to be in this position besides maybe the Ravens. And even then, like, you got to calm down on that argument because the Bills still won. You know, we can say the Ravens beat themselves, but the Bills still won. At the end of the day, they beat the Ravens. But the Bills haven't proved anything in my eyes. He beat the Broncos and only beat the Ravens off turnovers. And that's exactly true. Like, and the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes have not had a turnover in 3 weeks. Or, 8 weeks. Let me knock on wood. In 8 weeks. Not a single turnover. Tell me a streak like that. And I'm going to remind you, out of any team that's gone for a three-peat, this is the best team that's ever done it. Look at the numbers, don't lie. Like, this close as it gets. Mahomes is great about picking apart defenses. He'll find every wide receiver on the roster. The way the Bills defense let Lamar pick them apart is eye-opening. It's crazy to think about. The spread on the Chiefs game is 2 points. Let me double check. I know it was. I know it's been moving a little bit. It's been moving. It might be 3 right now. Yeah, this is a live line. We're trying to convince people to bet the Bills. Like they're saying, hey, it's still at 2 points. Okay, we're still at 2. But it looks like a few more percentage. The Chiefs percentage has 58% of the public betting the Chiefs, and it was 56% yesterday. So a few more bets look like they're coming in on Kansas City, and a few more are coming in on Philadelphia. So, do with that information what you will. 72% of the public is betting Philly. So, according to the betting public, Commanders are the underdog. And everybody knows your kick butt love of your man. Go Chiefs, go. Let's go, Steve. Let's go, Steve. I got to keep it a little PG, but, people that can read. We'll put it on the screen. You can see it up there. Maybe one day I'll find it. They usually don't point at comments, but I'll figure it out eventually. Shout out, Steve. Yeah, I'm hyped for these Chiefs, bro. I'm ready to see some exciting football. What are you guys' picks? Philly Commanders. So let's get the votes in. So we have to win this. Yeah, there ain't no other games to look like. I know Pat Mahomes don't. He don't go to Cancun until March. We know this. Jada Daniels versus Mahomes would be great. I like it. I kind of like it. Philly all day. Can't stop Barkley. I'm right there with you. That's my pick. I think Philly's going to win. I don't see how they stop Saquon. Panthers have a worst run defense. The Saints have a worst run defense. And that's it. That's the list. That's who gave up more yards. That's it. And then it's the Commanders. Every team around, there ain't no playoff teams in the bottom 10. Put it to you that way. Except for the Commanders. Commanders versus Chiefs. We got a Chiefs win too. Shout out keeping up with the Devils. He's been spot on all morning. M. Howard says 8 and 9 man boxes coming will be interesting. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what difference that makes. I don't know. They've been doing all that. It hasn't been the recipe all season. I don't know the last time it worked. Have you ever watched that JB guy? Not off the top of my head. It's not ringing a bell. I watch a couple other YouTubers, but I try not to because I stream so much. I don't want them to influence my opinion. My surprise player today, Noah Gray. Hey, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. What do you think? What are we looking at? If I had to pick Noah Gray, I'm going to go 3 catches, 45 yards, and a tutty. One of them's a touchdown. What do you think about that? Is that about right, Pat? What I'll say is any one of these 4 remaining teams won't shock me. I'll agree with that. 84, it could be the formula. You try to see who's going to play who type deal. It could go anyway. Should be exciting games today. I'll take Eagles -6. Comley's had a great run, but Saquon constantly gets positive plays, eats the clock. The only way Jaden Daniels pulls the upset if he literally throws a perfect game. And he could. Unlikely, but he could. I think if he gets up early, if they put up the score, if the Eagles are trying to play catch up, it's not the recipe for the Commanders to lose. I think Reed has something specifically saved for this game. Yes, sir, Leo. This is the thing that most people don't pay attention to, don't watch, and I'm glad you're pointing it out. I know I've got some new comments below this, so I can't see them. Give me just one moment, folks. I'm going to point out Leo's excellent comment here. If you look at the first Chiefs-Bills game, it was a very, very vanilla Andy Reid playbook. He's been doing it most of the season. I think he started to open the playbook up a little bit against the Texans, and once they realized the game was not in jeopardy, he shut that down again. There was no, that game was never in doubt. Save it. Andy Reid believes in saving us plays. We've seen the Lions mess up this year and on the same situation. You know how they like to do that trick play where Jared Goff tosses it to a wide receiver and then he throws it to someone else? You know that little trick play they like to do all season? They were showing it off when they were blowing teams out. Well, they tried to do it when they needed it. And surprise, surprise, nobody fell for it. That's not how you win games. Chiefs win a 2-score game. That's what I kind of think too. And people will still tell you that somehow, some way, it was a close game. That's what I think. Hey, there we go. There we go. Yeah, anybody says Mahomes is overrated, just trying to do clickbait. I call that clickbait. Speaking of which, check out my Pat Mahomes flops video. Talk about clickbait. Spot on with no great take. Appreciate you, Pat. That's what I think. 3 yards or 3 for 45 and a tutty. Take Eckler and Shakira over in receiving yards. Maybe. Overrated. Why is this cutting in and out so much? Bills go for it on a random fourth down. Then they shouldn't have, and Chiefs score off the turnover. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. I have Xavier Worthy, 1,100 first touchdown score. Hey, hey, there's good money odds. He could do it. Fastest man on the field. Fastest man on the field there, Mr. Bear. That's not bad odds. I kind of like rolling the dice on that one myself. I like this one. I still like this one though, and they're gonna blame it on something. Everything but what it is. It's crazy to see. Well, folks, this has been the Tailgate Show. Appreciate you. I'm gonna call it a morning and get to the old barbecue grill. Hope y'all enjoyed the games. Again, I got Philly in Kansas City the Super Bowl. That dude with the beard has got the Commanders and the Chiefs. Well, we got some. Let's hit these comments real quick before we head out. Chiefs -1.5 seems like a great bet. Betting against Mahomes in the playoffs is like betting against Brady. Shaquille will be locked down. Cook will be gobbled up on the check downs. Yeah, I just take the Chiefs money line. I don't like this. I personally don't bet spreads unless it's just one of these like obvious blowout games where you feel super comfortable. But I just like the money line when it's that close. The little bit of money difference isn't worth the points to me. Chiefs have been playing down to the competition all year. Jaded and coming off championship fatigue. 2 games left, and they call it a bag. Time to bury the Bills. Look, you preaching on this Sunday morning, Leo. I like it. Commanders money line. Jaden Daniels has mastered Kingsbury's offense. Notice he hasn't used a wristband all season. He had the offense mastered by week 3 with the Bengals. Hey, maybe. I hope you're right. I had Jaden Daniels for Rookie of the Year, so I hope you're right. It'll be a fun game. Problem is he doesn't have a defense to match it. The other side of the ball, he's got a bottom 3 run defense against a team that's prolific at running the ball. The wrong team to be playing. It's just the wrong setup. I appreciate everybody that popped in. That's my thoughts and my opinions. I hope y'all enjoy your little weekend, and we'll be here to talk about it. Go Chiefs.